Okay, now on to one of the highlights of the Brain Ball every year, the presentation of the Mary Varga Award. Those of you that have come to the Brain Ball before know that the Varga family organized the very first one. That goes 9 years back, okay? The very first one to thank BIAK for their support of Mary Varga during her recovery from a brain injury. BIAK presented Mary with an award in recognition of her perseverance and courage. And thus, the Mary Varga Award was born. Every year since, Mary has chosen a recipient of the award given to a brain injury survivor who serves as an example of what brain injury survivors can accomplish. Here to present this year's award is none other than the spirited and lovely Mary Varga.
Now, I have to tell you, I was so disappointed that my son Andrew couldn't be here with us this year because he had such a wonderful time last year. And he decided that he was going to be here for every Brain Ball from now on. And then freshman year happened. And I found out that an unexcused absence is not taken very lightly in high school, as it was in grade school. So, since Andrew couldn't escort me this year, I asked his grandpa to help me up here. So that's Andrew's grandpa. Now, Dad is the patriarch of the entire Varga family. So, in many ways, that also makes him the father of the Brain Ball. And now we don't present awards to our fathers. We just say thank you. So thanks, Dad. So let's talk about the Mary Varga Award. You know, Tell Austin asked me if I would choose a brain tumor survivor for this year's award because he wanted to celebrate our new alliance with the Michael J. Quinlan Brain Tumor Foundation. And when Tell asked me that, I knew exactly who I wanted. But this was actually not the first time that a brain tumor survivor has won this award. The very first Mary Varga Award went to Lynn Dodd. Then the second one went to Pam Richardson, and both of them are brain tumor survivors. So tonight, I'm very pleased to present the 9th annual Mary Varga Award to our third brain tumor survivor, Dennis Bassnecker. Now, Dennis sits on the board of the Brain Injury Trust Fund in Frankfurt, and he's also on the board of BIAK. And Dennis sits on the board, or he sits as a chair on the council, that's right. He's on the council of the Friends for Fraser, and he was very active this year in planning and organizing our second annual Survivor Celebration. And Dennis was actually one of the keynote speakers of that celebration. Now, prior to his brain tumor, Dennis had a very successful career that included many years in sales and marketing, training and development, human resources management, and then finally consulting. Now, Dennis actually had his brain tumor removed in 2002, but he has very little memory of his life for the 7 or 8 years prior to that. And during that time, Dennis began behaving strangely, and he stopped being concerned about his personal appearance, and he had a hard time holding down a job. And towards the end of that period, Dennis was paying rent on 2 homes, but he was living in his car. And that's exactly where a neighbor found him, slumped over the steering wheel in his car. So Dennis was rushed to Audubon Hospital, where they discovered a brain tumor the size of a grapefruit. And I say discovered because Dennis had no knowledge of his brain tumor before that time. So they successfully removed the tumor, but that left Dennis still with a very long recovery. But 2 very nice things came out of Dennis's recovery. Number 1, he met and married his wife, Karen. And secondly, through his rehab work at Frazier, Dennis discovered a talent he didn't know he had. Dennis discovered that he was an artist, and he could draw and he could paint really, really well. So Dennis used to walk around Germantown with the sketch pad under his arm, and he would sketch churches and other landmarks. Then he expanded his artwork to include painting abstracts. Now, I have one of Dennis's abstracts hanging on my living room wall, and you can bid on one of Dennis's paintings at the silent auction downstairs. Now, Dennis sold his very first painting to former President Bill Clinton when he was in town campaigning for Hillary. And President Clinton was having lunch at Lynn's Paradise Cafe when he decided to walk through the art gallery. And that's where he found one of Dennis's paintings. And it was a sketch of St. Edward's in Germantown. And that picture now hangs on the wall in the Clinton home. Now, you may think that the reason why I chose Dennis for this award is because of all these accomplishments I've just listed. And you would be partly correct. But the real reason I chose Dennis for this award is because he has such a very big heart. You know, my brother Paul wrote me a poem for my 50th birthday. And one of the lines was, "The journey you've taken was impossible to chart. What God took from your brain, he put back in your heart." And that is precisely how God has blessed Dennis in his brain injury. And since I think that every big heart deserves a nice piece of crystal to go with it, that's exactly what we had to give Dennis tonight. Now, this beautiful Mary Varga Award was again this year donated to BIAK by Tim and Lloyd Laird. So thank you. Now, please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Dennis Besedek. You can hold that, I can't.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's really good to be here for a lot of reasons. I want to thank you, Mary. Part of the reason this is so special and humbling to me is that it's named after Mary Varga, who continues to be an inspiration to everyone that she meets, and she continues to be an inspiration to me, too. She's the consummate epitome of the difference between determination and obstinance. Determination has the will to will, obstinate has the will to won't. Well, Mary will do it, and she does get it done. So I appreciate Mary. I'm going to try to make this as short, but I want to get a couple of things across. Hopefully that the brain injury survivors that are here and the individuals who have a commitment to the success of the organization can hear this. But when I came out of the tumor, I still thought it was 1993 and it was 2002. So you combine that with the fact that most of us tend to get our sense of identity by what we do. So if you're not able to do that anymore, then who are you? Think about it. If you lost your avocation or your career, the next minute you don't have it, what are you going to do? So you have to redefine who you are and somehow create a new sense of identity. The support groups, like the 8, 9, 10 support group that we go to, the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky, Friends of Fraser, and all the people at the hospitals out in the city of Louisville, they all create the kind of support that confirmed me as an individual and gave me the courage to go through the door that wasn't open. You know, when one door closes, another one does open, but too many of us don't have the courage to go through that closed door. It's so much easier just to sit back and sit on our rear ends and just kind of take it as it comes to us. But in order to make it happen yourself, you have to go through that door. And that's what BIAK and our support groups do for us. They give us the courage to go through that door. So we can never be thankful enough for that. I put it this way, we have the opportunity to see things differently because of that significant emotional event that we've just gone through. Now, it may be physical, but there's a lot of emotional trauma that's involved with that too, and that's why I say the significant emotional event that creates a new vision for us as a person. But without the support of you all here, that wouldn't happen. It would be a much harder road for people who are trying to recover from the brain injury. Because it's not a one-time event. That doesn't happen. You go through rehabilitation and you get a certificate or graduation diploma. Your life has changed forever. And often it's through our struggles we find our true passion, and that's what's exactly happened to me. It's been through my struggle trying to find out who I was that I became to know that working with this group is where I need to be. And I'll close with one comment, kind of paraphrase from Gandhi, is that you will find yourself by giving to the service of others. And I have a feeling that that's what most of us in this room have found out. And I thank you for doing that. Thank you.
Dennis, thank you very much and congratulations. A true inspiration. That was wonderful. Mary, great job again on, I know it's a tough choice every year, but again, the 9th annual Mary Varga Award has been given out. So thank you, Mary. Wonderful talk. And Dr. Don, thank you for the escort. Thank you. All right. As you can see, from Dennis, Mary, Major General, all the things that the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky does for us and everyone, it's a true inspiration.